Alright my friends, what is up? Welcome back to another Neo Adventures. I'm Cha Yang. It's been a while since I made a video and all that stuff. Been a little bit busy. Doing some traveling too. I went in California to kind of see some family over there. So big shout out to my Cali family. Love you guys. But today I am here at the marina doing some maintenance work on the boat a little bit. We've got an adventure for next weekend that we will be going. We're going to be going island camping at Shell Key. So we're going to be there the whole weekend. So that's going to be the next video that I'm going to make sure that I capture. So basically this is the weekend before. Need to basically do some maintenance work on the boat so that we can kind of safely take it out there. Doing some bleeding work on the actual steering. There was some loose steering a little bit, so I wanted to kind of bleed it. So I want to show you guys. I've got this whole setup running from the helm. Basically, this is like a whole bleeding setup kit that I bought from online, and basically it's all this whole tube that connects to both motors. Now, since I got dual motors, it's a little bit harder to kind of bleed. So this kit actually makes it a lot easier. Basically, just hook up all the hoses to the two cylinders, and you just pretty much keep on spinning it. Initially, there's a lot of air bubbles, but as you can see right now, in all the tubes, it's looking pretty good. There's an air bubble right here. I'll have to get it out, but you basically just hook up to the two cylinders. It will eventually pump all the way through up this hose, which then circulates back to the helm right in here. And this is where you kind of fill the steering fluid and stuff. And then I got this running up to a refill bucket for power steering or hydraulic steering fluid up there. And basically you just got to keep on turning it, and eventually it'll circulate the fluid within the whole system and take out any air bubbles. So been doing this for like the past 30 minutes and stuff. There was a lot of air bubbles that kind of came out, so that's a good thing. And really just kind of getting things all set up for next weekend. But other things I wanted to do with this video is I wanted to go over some of the things that I think is important, or that you should have if you are wanting to get a boat and wanting to take it offshore for fishing, or if you already have a boat and you want to take it offshore. There's a couple of things that I think is very important that you should have in order to kind of be successful and also be safe out there and all that. So that's what I'll be going over today. Basically just some of my top items that you should have on your boat to go offshore fishing. So follow along. I'm going to be going just kind of showing all that stuff, and then hopefully some of the stuff is actually useful to you too. All right, let's go. All right, so pretty much onto some of the items that in my opinion you should have on your boat. We're going to go through some of the safety stuff first. So first and foremost, an EPIRB. That is a must-have in my opinion, that if you are going offshore, it doesn't matter if it's 5 miles, 10 miles, or 70 miles and stuff. EPIRB is an emergency positioning indicating radio beacon. When you're offshore, really there is no self-service or anything like that. So if you actually run into an emergency, or you capsize, or God forsake, if you actually start sinking and stuff, really you need a way to kind of communicate back, radio help, or try to get some assistance and stuff. And really EPIRB is pretty much the best way. If you press this little button, the green button right there, what this does is it sends a beacon to the cavalry, basically to the Coast Guard, I think the police department and all that stuff too. And it's basically GPS position based, so it will send a beacon, and basically the Coast Guard will come towards wherever your beacon is, So this is really, for dire emergency, like if you capsize, your boat is taking on water and it's going under or something like that, and you need to let the Coast Guard know where your position is so that they can actually come and rescue you and stuff. So must have EPIRB on your boat if you're going offshore. Alright, so second thing that's really required to have a good experience offshore and stuff is basically your electronics. You can kind of run whatever kind of electronics that you want, but for simplicity's sake, you really just need sonar, downscan sonar, and then some sort of mapping system. I run a very simple electronics system. So this is my GPS map 6000. Primarily use this guy just for sonar, looking down, sometimes navigational. But for the most part, I use my tablet for navigation and also for some of my GPS positions and stuff. This is a Samsung S7 tab, and I'm running Navionics on it. And basically, if you're offshore, the tablet still works, Navionics still works because it's just GPS based. It doesn't need to be a cell based tab. Basically, if you have Navionics, the and GPS on the tablet is going to be working and stuff. What you should do though is probably pre-download the actual maps, so that when you're actually offline offshore and stuff, you already have the maps and stuff. But it does look pretty good in tracking where your GPS position is. It's slightly lagging a little bit from like some like real-time systems or whatnot, but this actually serves my purpose. And the things that I like about this is that I can just take this tablet and pretty much take it home, plan my trips. I plan a lot of my trips at home with my tablet and stuff, using Navionics, and then basically when we're out ready to go to the boat or to the actual trip and stuff, everything's already in here. Just bring it up, hook it up onto this swivel holder. It's your typical tablet holder and stuff that I just got mounted. So this is a very simple setup for a dual screen electronic setup that is actually pretty budget friendly. This tablet is just a couple $100, and you just got to get a membership for Navionics, and there you go. So really no need to really upgrade your systems to thousands of dollars and stuff. Eventually I want to upgrade to some better electronics, maybe some SIMRADs or something like that, but this kind of serves the purpose right now. Running sonar there, running my maps here and all that, and everything with Navionics. It has everything that I kind of need. I don't know if you can kind of really see that, but with all the relief shading, this is Skyway right here. You can use Navionics, find all of the channels and the relief shading and all that stuff, and be able to kind of go find your spots and all that. If we looked at the south pier, here's the south pier. You see all these rock pilings that you could easily just kind of get right on top, and it will mark you exactly where you are. So it's pretty accurate. And running Navionics on a tablet, you got a way much more screen, visible screen right here for you to be able to kind of look at everything. So definitely to kind of up your game, you need some sort of system, at least sonar, and then at least navigational and relief shading, so that you can actually see the bottom and be able to kind of fish it. But yeah. Alright, so the next must-have for offshore trip is basically this guy. This is a trolley motor. This is a Rodan 36 volt 92 inch shaft trolley motor. And the reason why I say that is definitely needed is this trolley motor has what's called spot lock. So basically it's GPS enabled, and you could basically go to any spot, press a button on the actual remote, and what it'll do is it will actually lock your position where you had initially pressed it. And what that does, it anchors, essentially anchors you to your position so that you can actually start fishing and stuff. Comes with this little remote right here, very simple. You got your little A button right here to just click so that it anchors. It's got the manual controls and all that stuff too. But the main reason I got this guy is for spot lock. And in regards to fishing, it's a game changer. I also have a windlass right there. It helps with the manpower on pulling up the anchor. But the challenge with anchoring with an anchor is, you've got the wind and you've got the tide that's always going to sway you. So no matter how perfect you are on one of your spot and stuff, the tide change, the wind change, it's going to sway you off your spot and stuff. But with the trolling motor spot lock, it holds you exactly right on that spot. And the thing is that once you're actually on that spot, you can actually move around. Every single click, whether it's up, down, left, or right, is actually 5 feet in that direction. So a lot of time what I do is I first get onto a spot, kind of find where the fish is, using sonar, and basically lock on that. Then we start fishing that, and then slowly kind of just move us, if the fish is not biting, move us maybe 20 feet to the right, 20 feet to the left, or something like that, or really just kind of slowly start moving using just the trolling motor. And it has been very helpful, and that's one thing that you can't do if you're actually anchored up. If you're anchored up and you're off the spot, you got to pull anchor again and try to reposition, which is a lot of time wasted, in my opinion. You got more time fishing when you just have the actual spot lock trolling motor. This is a Rodan. I know Minn Kota makes one too that has spot lock. I think it's both of them probably don't have any, they should work for spot lock. I think it's more of like personal preference on which brand you actually choose and whatnot. But this is a definite need, in my opinion, if in your boat, if you want to do some good fishing and stuff. Definitely helps you hold your spots and anchor appropriately. But yeah, spot lock trolling motor. Next thing that I think that is a definite need also, with my trolling motor, it's a 36 volt trolling motor. So I'm actually running a 36 volt 105 amp hour lithium ion battery. Your other option, if you want to go lead acid, is basically you got to run 3 lead acid batteries in parallel, and those lead acid batteries are pretty heavy and stuff. So I'd say if you're actually have a need for a 36 volt, go ahead and spend the money and get that guy. Get a lithium ion single battery, so that you don't have to deal with 3 batteries, the weight of 3 batteries, and also the wiring and stuff. This guy alone is probably the weight of a single 12 volt lead acid battery, or maybe even lighter. And that's one of the things that I love about this. This is my trolling motor. My trolling motor is hooked up to this guy, but I would not have it any other way. I'm so glad that I went with a single 36 volt lithium ion battery rather than trying to kind of run 3 lead acid battery. Save yourself some headaches and also the weight and stuff, and just go ahead and spend money for it. Next on the must-have list is going back to safety. As I mentioned, when you're offshore and stuff, you really got no cell service and all that. And if you're still kind of near shore, 50 miles or something like that, there are ways that you can kind of try to communicate back. And basically, that is a VHF radio. This guy right here. So, in my opinion, that is also a definite need on your boat for emergency purposes. Whether someone is hurt or something like that, you can actually call for some help. Or if you're far offshore and you need some assistance, you can try using the VHF to call the Coast Guard or if anybody's around to kind of help you for actually triggering this guy. This guy is probably last, the last ditch effort of like, okay, yeah, you're sinking and you need to trigger this guy. But if you're still floating, definitely use your VHF radio and try to kind of reach somebody on channel 16, I think, for some help and all that. So really, these two kind of work hand in hand, the VHF radio and then also the EPIRB. But when I go offshore, I don't go without them. Obviously, the VHF radio is on the boat, and I also keep this guy on the boat locked up, and then pretty much just set him up whenever we go offshore. But those are kind of some of the optional things that you really don't need on the boat in regards of safety. But I think that you should have. Obviously, you should have all your other safety stuff, like the life jackets, your flares, your fire extinguishers, your whistles, and your throw boat and all that stuff. Some of the required stuff. Obviously, it's something that you're required to have. But like the EPIRB and the VHF, those are actually optional. They're not mandatory. But I still think that you should get it because we hear too many stories of boaters going offshore and end up missing and stuff. And it's almost like if they had this guy, it would have been a great help in all that. So safety. All right. So the next thing that you should probably have safe in regard to safety again also is this guy right here. So this guy is a ditch bag. Basically, this is a floating bag. You don't have to get like this bag specifically, but this was a kit that I bought with the EPIRB. Came with some additional stuff like some digital flares, some flags, and some noise making device and all that. But I think it should you should get a ditch bag on your boat. Basically, throw anything in this bag that you would need in in an emergency situation and all that stuff. So it's always kind of good to have. The EPIRB and the VHF is probably higher priority on the list, but it'll be nice to kind of have also the ditch bag. But basically, if anything happens, that the very first thing that you should grab and stuff, and it's really this guy. But yeah, once you kind of have this ditch bag, you can kind of throw anything in there. This guy with the actual EPIRB was about $800, but in my opinion, it's worth every dollar. You can't be too safe enough. So it's always good to be safe than to be sorry. But yeah, that kind of just wraps up some of the list of the things that in my opinion, that I believe you should have on your boat. Whether you're looking to get a boat and get things on your boat, or if you already have a boat and you want to, be better at your fishing game and stuff, the spot lock trolling motor, the batteries and stuff, electronics, those are some of the ideas that maybe you can, kind of apply to your boat and all that. But this is just how I kind of have my boat set up, and it's been working for me pretty good for what I do so far. So that's pretty much all. Just want to do this video to go over some of the things that I think that's very important, or that I think is very important to have on a boat. But yeah, thanks for kind of watching. Just stay tuned for the next video. Like I said, we will be going to camp on Shell Key Island over next weekend. So I'm going to be doing a video for our camping trip also for that adventure. So probably next week or something like that after our camping trip, that video will be coming out. So cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace, yo.